Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
How is it supposed to feel?
They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't playing no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories I forget. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel?
I don't know, you tell me.
How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? How you going out to lunch? Deb, Alex. Who else have we got in here? Shannon. Virginia, how you doing? Oops, whoop, I jumped a little bit there. Okay, who else we got? Dana, how you going, Dana? Marco. Jennifer, I knew there was someone I forgot there, look. And Spaz, how you going? Who else we got? J1. Is J1? Yeah, J1's in there. Paul's in there. Okay, no pictures on the screen. I forgot to put that. Sorry. Thank you, Alex. Oh, good on you, Alex. You always pick it up. Good on you, Alex. I need you, you know. Without you, this show'd be shit. No, I'm serious. Okay, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Okay. It's going to be a short one today. I've slept for 11 hours last night. Too much on the one side. Gave myself a headache, but hey, we're here. And we'll do the best we can while we're here. Okay. Oh, God, love you, Shannon. Hang on, what's going on there? Oh. Anya, Shannon. Believe me, you're a legend in my mind, mate. Seriously. Okay. Let's get on with it. Thank you so much, Shannon. You're a legend. Eric Doherty said, just in, President Trump announces US gasoline prices will plummet to $1.85 levels after the Iran war ends. That'll end soon, very soon, and when it ends, your gasoline prices will go down lower than they were before. You know, I left Iowa a few months ago and gasoline was at $1.85 a gallon. And we'll be hitting numbers like that again soon, but we'll be hitting them in a much nicer way, by the way. We'll be hitting them and we will have a country that will not have a nuclear weapon, which is Iran, obviously. Okay. Mario Norfolk says, Dr. Oz says 2 of 3 hospice facilities in California vanished when the government came knocking. Trump's team claims $100 billion in Medicaid fraud linked to foreign governments and crime syndicates using COVID as cover. I can imagine they're doing it here too. Disappearing in response says it all. Yeah, they disappeared in response to the investigation. Mario Norfolk said California's Medicaid program is now billing taxpayers for exorcisms. No, that's no joke. It's official 2024 policy. Medi-Cal has more than doubled since 2019 from $100 billion to a projected $222 billion for 2026. The Trump admin just froze $1.4 billion federal funding after flagging $600 million in suspected fraud. And on the Senate floor, Senator John Kennedy told AG Todd Blanche California has 12% of the population but is responsible for half the new so-called health providers offering exorcisms and other things. What the hell are we doing about it? Here's the broader picture. When a program doubles in cost in 6 years with zero accountability, fraud just scales with the budget. The exorcism line is funny. The $222 billion is not. Yeah, the exorcism line is funny. I was waiting for John Kennedy to say something funny there, but he didn't. Well, exorcism, yeah. Okay. Nick Sautor said President Trump is taking absolutely no prisoners tonight, going hard after Newsom's stupidity. How about California? They want to force electric cars, but they don't have enough electricity to turn on your air conditioners. They have brownouts. Now everyone's going to have an electric car. That's one of the worst governors in the country, and I think we all know that. Apart from New York's is he governor or mayor? New York Mandani. Oh, bloody hell. Anyway, Gunther Egerman said breaking Iran's Revolutionary Guard just issued desperate threats, crushing blows if Trump resumes strikes against them. Tehran is panicking, warning of a wider regional war as President Trump weighs military options and Israel prepares to act. This is what happens when you have a real commander-in-chief in the White House again. No more Biden-era weakness, no more pallets of cash, and no more letting the world's #1 sponsor of terrorism run wild. Yep. Come on. You can do this. I know you can. Nick Sautor said just in, Trump says he'll be deploying 5,000 troops to Poland shortly after withdrawing 5,000 from Germany. If our troops have to be in Europe, Poland is the place for them. Poland's president is much friendlier to America than Germany's chancellor. Based on the successful election of the now president of Poland, Karol Nawrocki, who I was proud to endorse in our relationship with him, I'm pleased to announce the United States will be sending an additional 5,000 troops to Poland. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh, dear. MJ Truth Ultra said, boom, Trump keeps telling everyone he's going to serve one more term in office for a reason, lol. I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32. I don't know. Maybe I will. Interesting. We're going to have another 4 years of Trump. Yay. Trump said, President Trump, I'm the first president to ever give a keynote address to this institution twice. We'll have to try it a third time. We're going to have to try it maybe a third time. Oh, hint, hint, hint. Hello? Yeah. Okay, Shadow of Ezra said, President Trump says he controls Benjamin Netanyahu, that Netanyahu will do whatever he tells him to. Exactly what I've been saying for a while. He does. It's not the other way around. Trump controls Netanyahu. Just hang in there and watch. Trump says he could run for Prime Minister in Israel today and win if he wanted to. Maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel and run for Prime Minister. Can you come to Australia and run for Prime Minister? I mean, Pauline Hanson's doing all right, though, but, you know, I wouldn't mind a Trump. Sarah for Trump. said Canada already has 755 mosques, so why the hell are Muslims deliberately shutting down main streets for prayer? What the fuck is their actual goal here? Interesting. Take over and show dominance. That's what it looks like to me. It's not enough that they have 755 mosques they can pray in. No, they've got to do it in the streets. And to me, that is a show of, we're here to take over. Hey, going, Zhao? And Lisa? Crypto Rover said breaking. Trump just told Netanyahu that mediators are drafting a letter of intent to be signed by both the US and Iran. The letter would officially end the war and launch a 30-day negotiation period covering Iran's nuclear program and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Per an American source briefed on the call, peace is no longer a rumour. It's being put on paper. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Now there's something going on here. Clandestine is calling out Laura Loomer. What you reported is not true at all. You claim Trump and Tulsi were feuding, which is not true. She is stepping down for completely unrelated reasons and has respect from everyone in the administration. You get no respect because you deserve none. You're a psycho. And that's in response to Laura Loomer, who said, I wish Tulsi Gabbard well and I hope her husband recovers from cancer. That being said, I reported months ago that Tulsi Gabbard would be resigning soon, and I was viciously attacked and smeared because the media refuses to treat me with respect, and I'm constantly ignored when my reporting is literally better than anyone's. I'm getting tired of it. The media needs to learn that my sourcing is accurate and I'm much quicker than all of them. Well, what you reported was not true, so not necessarily. Okay? They weren't feuding, which is what Laura Loomer did say, by the way. Not true. Okay, she was true that Tulsi would end up leaving, but not for the reasons that she predicted. MJ Truth Ultra said Rep Tim Burchett stops Joe Rogan like a deer in headlights when he suggests Cole Allen, the would-be Trump assassin at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, was programmed to do it. Rogan asked him to clarify, you mean MK Ultra type programming? And Burchett said 100%. I think so. Wow. And MJ Truth Ultra said, Joe Rogan, did you see the judge who apologised to the man who tried to kill President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? That same judge let out another person who threatened to kill Trump. The way this judge addressed this man is almost as if he was condoning it. This is the man, obviously, the judge. And Rep Tim Burchett told Joe Rogan he'd caught hell from the GOP after he explained last year how politicians are targeted in honeypot blackmail schemes. While travelling abroad, someone aware of your preferences sets you up with what seems like a discreet encounter. You believe it's private. You believe. Then, just before a critical note, someone approaches you referencing that hotel, hinting at exposure. They suggest voting a certain way to keep it quiet. A week after Burchett's comments, authorities busted a major Chinese prostitution ring in Washington, D.C., with clients including high-ranking US officials, politicians and lobbyists. Does anyone remember Heidi Fleiss? Was it Heidi Fleiss? Was that her name? Heidi Fleiss. I believe that was her name. Interesting. How you going, Red Storm? Good to see ya. Okay, Clandestine said, remember, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and UAE were the nations Trump visited May 13th to 16, 2025, and he was treated like a king. A month later, June 22, 2025, Trump unleashed Midnight Hammer on Iran. Now Trump says these nations are helping to finalise the deal because he controls them all now. Decisions have already been made behind closed doors. The Middle East and most of the Muslim world all sided with Trump and agreed the radical Shia regime in Iran had to go. Under no circumstances can they obtain a nuclear weapon. Trump had the entire board secured before any kinetic operations began. The rest of the world turned on the illegitimate regime in Iran, and our military is the only force on earth capable of doing what needed to be done. Go, guys. Seriously. Hang on, I'm just in the bookmarks. Yes, I am. Okay, I was going to go back and that would have been a mistake. Real Roberts said, here it is. The Democrats are outraged over Trump's $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund. That's okay, just show them. Newly hidden FBI documents released by FBI Director Kash Patel confirm the FBI staged January 6, 5 months before it even happened, and concealed it from the President of the United States, including A.G. William fucking Barr and others. A memo shows the FBI conducted a secret January 6 tabletop exercise in the summer of 2021. Where have we heard this before? Event 201, anyone? Embedding 274 undercover agents and informants, including rehearsing post-January 6 mass prosecutions of America 5 months before it even occurred. Americans? King Solomon reporting. John Solomon reports the FBI's Boston office ran a secret tabletop exercise in August 2020. It included embedded informants, 274 undercover FBI agents, and even planned mass prosecutions, including for minor offences, the very same tactics later used against January 6 defendants. This was no intelligence failure. It was premeditated conspiracy by Democrats to suppress evidence of crimes committed on November the 3rd, 2020. Staged J6 and prosecuted J6s to cover it up. In other words, Christopher Wray oversaw the overthrow and the cover-up. He will go down as the most corrupt FBI director in US history. He has outdone James Comey, John Brennan, and James Clapper combined. Wow. Interesting. MJ Truth Ultra said legendary clown status reached. Candace Owens has now interviewed Hunter Biden. Harvey Weinstein wasn't bad enough. No, she's got to go for Hunter Biden now. By the way, yeah, there's a method to this madness of hers. She's going to try and get everyone to vote left. Legendary clown status reached. Hunter Biden, if you want to figure out why Trump don't want to release the Epstein files, all you got to do is look at the people standing behind him at inauguration. Candace said, yep, protecting his donors. Time out. The very first thing Candace should have said was, well, your father was in office for 4 years before him. Why didn't he release them? He was the president. Why didn't he release the Epstein files? Zero, or effectively none of the primary Epstein investigation files from the DOJ FBI were released by the Biden administration. Zero. Massive failure here by Candace. Well, Candace just is, that type, she's going down. Candace Owens interviewing Hunter Biden, I have no problem with, but it's what journalists and podcasters are supposed to do. Candace Owens not asking Hunter Biden tough critical questions, that's weird. I'm like more than halfway through this interview and it's a love affair. She loves Hunter. She does. Watch what they do. I bet you they're going to try and get people voting left. Betcha. Libs of TikTok said back in March, crossing signals in Denver, Colorado were hacked to say, fuck Trump. Trump murders children were impressed. Leftists are so desperate that they'll hack public safety systems just to attack President Trump. Total losers. What is wrong with them? For God's sake. Wall Street Apes said Chevron is letting customers know in California it's not Donald Trump causing the insane gas prices in the state. It's California Democrats. Chevron just added these new signs to their pump educating customers. Sacramento policies did this. Now you pay more. California politicians are choosing foreign oil and fuels over local jobs and lower costs. This is what we need. Huge companies willing to educate the public and tell the truth. It's Gavin Newsom and the Democrat policies causing $6.30 plus average cost per gallon in California. That is crazy. Ours here in Australia are a bit more than that, but hey. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're a bit like California. Maybe worse, I don't know. Clandestine said the woke right are now vowing to vote Democrat in the midterms. And the woke right, they mean people like Candace Owens, Ian Carroll. Who else? Tucker Carlson. Who else is there? What's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name even. Oh, this headache, honestly. Okay, this just confirms these people were never on our side to begin with. No, they were always lefties. The entire woke right movement was a Democrat op from the beginning, designed to hijack Trump's support. They failed, we won. There you go. Okay, MAGA Voice said breaking. Bill Cassidy, Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins just voted against President Trump on the War Powers resolution. And President Trump still won. MAGA keeps winning. You're going to get tired of all the winning. Let me tell you. Hang on, I can't read your name. Is it Theo? How you going, Theo? Okay, Eric Doherty said, update, Senator John Fetterman, which was a surprise, a Democrat, obviously. PA's chief of staff is resigning after his warmer approach towards Donald Trump and pro-Israel anti-Islamist stances, according to Axios. Fetterman is likely to be primaried in 2028 by the left, a huge chance to flip the PA seat red. Dems can't stand any time Fetterman isn't psycho TDS. No, and it surprised me that he came around in the end. He was flip-flopping for a while there. How you going, Donald? Okay, Sassafras said, y'all please pray up for Vanessa Trump. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. She could use our prayers. God love her. Is this a way to get some kind of cure for breast cancer out? I'm wondering. I'm just asking. I don't know, okay? Yeah, I believe that too, Theo. Fetterman might be a clone because he doesn't look like he used to. Okay. There you go. I'm wondering if that's a way to, because you know they're going to try and treat her with the best they can, okay, for breast cancer. I'm wondering if this is going to be like a leak type of situation. Nick Sautor said, now President Trump is rallying against the fact New Yorkers are forced to have workers unlock toothpaste at stores, being crime is so rampant. How screwed up is our country? How the hell do you make your money if you've got to open a expensive glass to give somebody a toothbrush or to give somebody toothpaste? He even says Howard Lutnick was at the NYC store yesterday and people came in with duffel bags to steal. Insane. Because they let it get out of hand. That's what they want, chaos. They want to rule from the chaos. They want to rule the ashes of what's left after the chaos, actually. Nick Sautor said it's official. Senate Republicans will now miss President Trump's June 1 deadline to pass ICE and CBP funding as John Thune decides to recess the Senate until next month. Thune is a failure. President Trump is not going to be happy about this. Time to remove Thune. Is it Thune or Tune? Because Greta Thunberg... I don't know anymore. Look, just take it with whatever. Fan Trump Army said, watch a British man put on a full burqa and walk past police officers to demonstrate a loophole in facial recognition and stop and search enforcement. He says anyone wearing a burqa in the UK gets the infinite freedom glitch. Watch this. Here he is over here. It's a man, by the way, under the burqa. The police have noticed him, looking at him. All right? So they're looking. They're watching him. Look at his head's moving as the person's going past. Now these ones, watching, just watching. Huh? Yeah, we're just watching. Yep. Oh, dear, that's the way to show them up. How embarrassing. How embarrassed would those police need to be, really? How you going, Timmy? Timmy said, it doesn't surprise me too much about Fetterman. Have many Dems are more conservative in that area of PA and New York than leftists. They vote Dem mostly because of the unions. Wow. Interesting. How you going, Sandy? It's Megyn Kelly. Thank you, Sandy. Candace reminded me of that Megyn Kelly with James Alefantis. It's like, hey... It's like they, not flirting, but willing to be influenced. I only watched 5 minutes of that. Then it was done. Yep. There you go. Okay. Nick Sautor said just in, President Trump puts out an incredibly supportive statement following Tulsi Gabbard's resignation due to her husband's bone cancer. Tulsi's done an incredible job and we'll miss her. Her wonderful husband, Abraham, has been recently diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, and she rightfully wants to be with him, bringing him back to the good health as they currently fight a tough battle together. President Trump was always very happy with Tulsi Gabbard's work exposing Barack Hussein Obama, shouting her out for it many times. She caught Obama red-handed. And President Trump said, unfortunately, after having done a great job, Tulsi Gabbard will be, oh my goodness, just, okay. can't hear the video? Oh, shit. Sorry,
after
guys.
what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in...
It was me, Alex, honestly. I forgot to turn the desktop audio on. I don't know why the desktop audio is on during the intro, but it is. And when it plays both, it echoes, so I've got to mute it. I then sometimes forget to unmute it. Okay. Anyway, Donald Trump said, unfortunately, after having done a great job, Tulsi Gabbard, I think, Aaron Lucas will be serving as acting director of national intelligence, apparently. That's her highly respected principal deputy director of national intelligence. Sorry to cut Mr. Trump off there, but he was... I kind of just unmuted it halfway through the speech. He was talking about Hillary too. This is a good one. This is what I've been saying for a while, thinking for a while anyway. Concerned citizens said Trump literally said they replaced Joe Biden with a masked clone. Do you think the ex-president is barely seen once more than every 3 months ever? Why do you think the ex-president is barely seen? Yeah, he looks like the way those things walk. Even what I showed a few weeks ago with the AI, the robots. Look at how he walks. Like one of them. Seriously. You can't tell the difference. If you just put a skin suit on the robot, that'll be Biden, see? Okay, there you go. Something I've thought for a while. Nick Sautor said, update, President Trump has abruptly cancelled his trip to Trump National in Bedminster, New Jersey, and will be heading straight back to the White House following a speech in New York. It's unclear why, but in a post about not attending Don Jr.'s wedding, 47 said, I feel it's more important for me to remain in Washington, D.C. at the White House during this important period of time. And congratulations to his son. Okay, let me read this. While I very much wanted to be with my son, Don Jr., and the newest member of the Trump family, his soon-to-be wife, Bettina, circumstances pertaining to government and my love for the United States of America do not allow me to do so. I feel it's important for me to remain in Washington, D.C. at the White House during this important period of time. And congratulations to Don and Bettina. There you go. Something's going on. Okay, Tulsi Gabbard said, I'm deeply grateful for the trust President Trump placed in me and for the opportunity to lead OD&I Gov for the last year and a half. Unfortunately, I must submit my resignation effective June 30th, 2026. My husband Abraham has recently been diagnosed with an extremely rare form of bone cancer. He faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months. At this time, I must step away from public service to be by his side and fully support him through this battle. There you go. Okay. Paz is right, said, odd, isn't it? As soon as Japan imports Muslims, their Buddhist temples start getting burned to the ground, just like churches all over Europe. They didn't, did they? Was this recently? Like, what's Japan's Prime Minister doing? I thought she wasn't letting anyone in. Or are they kicking them out and still trying to kick them out? Garbage Human said, Yorkshire Church, if this was a mosque or a synagogue, it would be all over the news and those people would be facing 5 years in jail. But it's a Christian church, so it doesn't matter, apparently. Why doesn't she just spray in front of their, instead of spraying on something you're trying to burn down, why don't you just use that spray? Spray in front of the fire here and hopefully maybe set yourself on fire. Sorry. No, I don't wish that at all. I promise you. Oh, yeah, it's been a slow news week, Timmy. All this week I haven't heard much news. I haven't seen it. And I'm like, what's going on? They might be trying to hide it from me on YouTube. But Twitter? No. Rahosa said 81-year-old grandmother Ava Estelle was absolutely furious when she learned that 2 thugs had raped her 18-year-old granddaughter. She tracked down the unsuspecting ex-convicts and shot off their testicles. Oh dear. This elderly woman spent a week hunting those men down, and when she found them, she took revenge in her own way, said Melbourne Police investigator Evan Delp. Well, when you're 81, how old was she? 81-year-old. Are they going to lock her up? And even if they do, it's not going to be for long or too long. Yeah, I've heard this before. Okay, this elderly woman spent a week hunting those men down, and when she found them, she took revenge in her own way, said Melbourne Police investigator Evan Delp. Then she took a taxi to the nearest police station, placed the pistol on the sergeant's desk and calmly said, "Those bastards will never rape anyone again, by God." Is this lady my hero? Have I just found a new hero? Police say convicted rapist and robber Davis Firth, 33, lost both his penis and testicles when the enraged Ava opened fire with a 9mm pistol inside the hotel room where he and his former cellmate Stanley Thomas, 29, had been hiding. The vigilante grandmother also shot Thomas in the groin, though doctors reportedly managed to save his mutilated penis. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the rape. Okay, I'm laughing at the way they worded it. Oh, my goodness. Thomas technically didn't lose his manhood. A Detective Delp told the reporters, but according to the doctor I spoke with, he won't be using it the way he used to. Well, he won't be using that the way he used to. Okay, both men are still in pretty bad shape, but I think they're just happy to be alive after what happened. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Grandma Rambo. I can't. Oh, my God. Grandma Rambo began hunting the attackers on August 21 after her granddaughter Debbie. Okay, this is a serious part. Don't do this. After her granddaughter Debbie was abducted and raped in broad daylight by 2 knife-wielding criminals. When I saw the look on Debbie's face that night in the hospital, I decided I would punish those bastards myself because I thought the law had become too soft. Recall the former librarian. She's a librarian. And they pushed her. Look how far they pushed her. I wasn't afraid of them because I have a gun and I've been shooting all my life and I'm no fool. I didn't turn it in when the gun laws changed. Well done, love. Using police sketches and a grandmother Debbie's description of the attackers, Ava spent 7 days wandering through the district where the crime occurred until she spotted the rapists entering a cheap hotel where they were staying. Luckily, she got the right man. Could have gone bad. I knew it was them the moment I saw them, but I still took photos and went back to Debbie. She said, "Damn right, that's them," the grandmother recalled. Oh, she did it properly. Look at that. She actually did it properly. She took photos of them, took them back to her granddaughter and said, "Was that them?" To confirm it was. So I went back to that hotel, found their room, knocked on the door, and as soon as the tall one opened it, I shot him right between the legs, right where it would hurt the most. Then I walked in and shot the other one while he backed away, begging me to spare him. After that, I went straight to the police station and turned myself in. Now bewildered law enforcement officials are trying to decide what to do with a vigilante grandmother. Seriously, how can you charge her? What she did was wrong and she broke the law, but it's hard to throw an 81-year-old woman in prison, Delp said, especially when 3 million people in the city want to elect her mayor. The story is fiction. Oh, come on. The story is fictional, circulated online since the late 19... Oh, is this Snopes? Snopes is the fact checker they wanted to insert in here. Snopes are known for being full of shit. It was a married man and his missus in their house in a basement somewhere, and they were arguing with each other while they were trying to fact check. But seriously, Snopes, come on, man. I believe it's true over Snopes, seriously. And good on the grandmother. God love her. Drew Pavlo said, breaking our new NDIS fraud investigation is out. They got another one. I have written a summary of our findings. We found a Gold Coast witch doctor spirit worker accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the NDIS while presiding over the tragic death of a vulnerable participant in suspicious circumstances. Marcia Christina Cavallo de Menzies. NDIS business continued to operate despite ongoing investigations surrounding this tragic death. We also uncovered evidence of a massive prisoner harvesting fraud whereby a West Sydney businessman named Jamal Sabsabi fraudulently charged the government for hundreds of thousands of dollars in phantom disability services to prisoners locked up in jail cells. He operated dozens of NDIS and care-related shell companies through which he paid himself at least $1 million a year for the privilege of running these scams. Police have not charged this West Sydney businessman despite his business being shut down for fraud. Why not? Shockingly, we found Jamal Sabsabi caught up in a new business in Western Sydney. When we barged in to confront him, we found a new West Sydney businessman sitting in his place with a gigantic golden leopard statue on his desk worth thousands of dollars. Yusuf at first denied that Jamal worked at the new office before admitting he had hired him for his great experience. What, in fraud? Upon investigating Yusuf, we discovered he operated under at least 6 different legal names with combined criminal rap sheet that features over 50 court appearances. This is the story of NDIS fraud on a truly mind-boggling scale. Oh, dear God, get these people out of here. Seriously. Ooh, yeah, we got Leering Centres here. This is it. These are our Leering Centres. Happens to be the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Concerned citizens said, so let me get this straight. In the UK, you can go on a rampage at an airport of all places, break a woman police officer's nose, punch a load of police out and not be found guilty of any crime. But only if you're a Muslim. Okay, we got it, yep. Rules for thee, but not for me. Yep. See, that's where he knocked that policewoman out. Punched the other police officer. But hey, gets away with it because they're Muslim. Elon Musk said fair expectations. Nick Shirley said, does it make you far right to want vetted immigration, no digital ID, lower taxes, no 2-tier policing, free speech, pedophiles out of office, and lower the cost of living? MSM and politicians will call these ladies far right. Does this sound far right to you or just right? Just right, thank you. It's not far right to want people who are immigrating here to be vetted. Oh, I just sent away my Australian citizenship paperwork. Wish me luck, guys. I've got to pay through the nose. Why do we have to pay so much to become Australian citizen? Anyway, I'm going to do it anyway, but hey. Yeah, that's not far right, sorry. And you know why I'm doing it? So I can vote for Pauline Hanson. That's the main reason. Sick of it. Drew Pavlou said we door-knocked an NDIS business in West Sydney operated by a guy who had charged taxpayers $340,000 to provide phantom 24/7 disability care to prisoners sitting in jail cells. They started threatening Pete Zagula's mother when confronted. Hey?
We saw him walk out. We saw him walk out yesterday. I asked her if this man who stole $340,000 is running this business.
You don't have consent to film me, so stop filming me.
Oh, well, it's public interest.
Okay? Stop filming me.
We're just trying to ask about Jamal
Don't
Sabsabi.
ask here.
We're
Go
trying to
away.
ask about Jamal Sabsabi,
We already told you.
and he stole $340,000
No,
from
okay.
Freedom Care Group.
Like what he told you.
We saw him walk out. We saw him walk out yesterday.
Get the hell out of the country if you're going to commit crime when you come here. Okay, Drew Pavlou said new Australia NDIS disability fraud investigation with Pete Zagoulas. This Minnesota-style fraud on a national scale. We found a voodoo-style witch doctor, where is it, who continues to operate Australian taxpayer-funded disability services despite the fact that she remains under investigation for the death of a participant in suspicious circumstances. And a prisoner harvesting scheme in West Sydney. Okay, we pretty much read this. Shockingly, we found, he had a new company. We barged our way in. Yeah, okay, we've pretty much read that one. Okay, it's what that says, pretty much. Okay. Jack the Aussie said, heads up, One Nation releases its gas and oil policy today. Watch the left go into meltdown. It's going to be sweet. Let's have a look. This is AI, obviously, but hey.
Drill, baby, drill for a stronger Australia. More oil means more jobs and prosperity. Together, we will make Australia great again. Drill, baby, drill for a strong...
That's the way. Drill, baby, drill for a stronger Australia. Instead of sending it all overseas and then buying it back so that we have to pay more for everything. Katie said 500 kV transmission lines carved through the Great Dividing Range. National Heritage Landscape and Koala Habitat. Yeah, we've got a Great Dividing Range, which is the mountains, right? Part of the Great Dividing Range. And that runs from north to south, okay, on the eastern side of Australia. It is a national heritage. Look, it is beautiful. And you know what they want to do? Yeah, they want to put transmission lines through the Great Dividing Range, National Heritage Landscape and Koala Habitat with not a single confirmed project ready to connect to them. Why? Chris Ullman's visit to Walcha has shone a national spotlight on what locals have warned for months. Reckless environmental destruction, community division and energy insecurity for infrastructure with no plan. No plan. Let me tell you. If you vote Labor or the Greens, honestly, I've got to ask where your brains are at this point. Even Liberal at this point. But Liberal, Pauline has asked Liberal to work with her. Okay, she needs some people on Liberal to work with her. Let's see how that goes, because I don't trust them either. The notice has said footage of hundreds of foreign students lining up for free food in Melbourne has sparked outrage from everyday Aussies. Just imagine if the Australian government, Australian organisations looked after Australian citizens first. Huge line of international students at a food bank in Melbourne. Why have them over here when they can't even afford food? The Road Knight said joint statement, Gina Reinhardt, Elon Musk, Donald Trump. The three of us, this is BS by the way, just so you know. The three of us have decided to buy Australia. Gina will be in charge of all mining, Elon will be in charge of science, technology and transport, and Donald will be there just to annoy the shit out of the left. We should have the country sorted by next Thursday, because that's what would happen if Trump came in. I'm sure he'd sort it out very quickly. Now, Donald J. Trump said horrible Congressman Thomas Massey put out an old endorsement from many years ago of him by me long before I found out he was the worst congressman in the history of our country. I endorsed Ed Galerian, a true American patriot, which Massey knows full well. So the statement that he has put out is fraudulent, just like he is fraudulent. Withdraw your fake statement, Massey, right now. President Donald J. Trump. This was how many days ago? Couple of days ago. Couple of days, mate. Kobe Thatcher said Michelle Obama arrived in Sydney today ahead of her speaking shows. Who's paying to go and see Michelle Obama in Sydney? Why are our taxpayer-funded Australian Federal Police out there guarding her when she's here for personal business and has her own secret service? They even blocked the road for her. Oh, get forked. Right out of here. Bloody traitor. Michelle Obama is a traitor. She is. I don't care what anyone says. She's a traitor. She's a traitor to America, and therefore she's just a traitor to me. Okay, Paglassi the hated? I don't know, okay? I don't know what's going on in Polk County, Florida, but their sheriff is roasting the transgender prostitutes he's arrested live at a press conference. Polk County, Florida, their police, their sheriff, has been known for years to be doing good work. He's caught a lot of pedos. Let's have a listen.
This is Anthony DeLizzo. He advertised as a prostitute, $300 for sex. He said he's from North Carolina. This is who showed up. So you are engaging this guy, and there he is. You wake up the next morning and you go, there's not enough Tylenol to get rid of this headache. Our undercovers go online. He agrees to make a call. We meet him. Whew. This is what he really looks like. How do you transform this? Whew.
Filters.
I can hardly look at it.
That's what filters do to people.
This. Now, can you imagine? You think you're getting this, and this guy walks in the door? Yeah.
Jeez. Polk County's been
This is Anthony.
Oh, sorry. Polk County Sheriff's Department has been known to be quite good, actually. The last 10 years that I've seen them. Believe me, it's been maybe over 10 years, but hey, I'm just going to say 10 years because I have watched Polk County go. I've watched them so many times, and they're getting all the pedos, and they seem to be a good sheriff's office, okay? They seem to be. Hopefully they stick with that. Bro said, good morning, Australia. This is a clear example of our bloated bureaucracy. WA's health minister has 15 advisors. 15 bloody advisors. And she couldn't even answer any questions. And guess what? She's one of 5 health ministers. Do each of them have 15 advisors? 5 times 15? Jesus. That's like 105, isn't it? How quick is my math? Is that 105? 5 times 15. I'm pretty sure it's 105. I might be wrong, though. Okay, jobs for mates, it's a corrupt Labor way. Now listen to this. She has 15 advisors. Now listen to this. I can't answer that question.
This is the health minister.
Oh.
And these are 15 of her advisors. And this is how she went answering my questions yesterday.
I don't have that information available today. We don't have that information available today. Member, again, this is a matter for the Health Infrastructure Minister, so just direct the query to him. Confirm there is a contract in place. We can't provide the details.
Further question? Member for Vass. Minister, are you able to provide that building condition report?
No, we won't be tabling that.
One of 5 health ministers, 15 taxpayer-funded advisors, and no clear answers to obvious questions asked yesterday.
We're getting ripped off. We're getting ripped off severely here. Okay, I think we all are. Every country, it doesn't matter which country you're in. We're all getting ripped off. Elon Musk said truth via humour. The Babylon Bee said Conservative primary voters excited to choose which politician will betray them next. Yes, I think we're all feeling like that. How you going, Harry? Good to see you. Kai, how you going? Dom Luca said just in, BBC released footage of a Muslim Afghan father selling his 7-year-old twin daughters to sexual slavery with adult men because his country's failed him and he has no way to pay bills for himself or his daughters. Well, selling your daughter wouldn't be a fucking way to do that. Sell yourself before you sell your daughter, you moron. Where is it? I can't see the play button. Hang on.
Abdul Rashid Azimi's home, we're suddenly confronted by the devastating impact.
We're going to try and make you feel sorry for this man. We are really, really, really going to try and make you feel sorry for this man. Listen to the BBC talk.
He calls for his daughters. Rukia and Ruhila are twins. They're 7.
You poor little girls, you don't even have a father manly enough to stand up. You poor little girls. I feel sorry for the little girls.
Abdul is eager to explain why he's making unbearable choices. I'm ready to sell my daughters. I'm poor and in debt. I come home with parched lips, distressed and confused. My children come to me saying, Baba, give us some bread.
I'd like to ask if he voted for this government. Anyway.
But what can I give? Where is the work so I can earn? It breaks my heart but it's the only way to feed my other children, Abdul says. Abdul Rashid Azimi's home, where
Nah, fuck off. There's got to be another way, man. Maybe he's not smart enough to think of the other way, but hey. Remember that chick I was talking about, Abby Chatfield, whose husband got kicked out of the USA because, she's a dickhead and so is he. Retards Down Under said the biggest retard in Australia, Abby Chatfield, doesn't understand why she's hated so much. You want to see why she's hated so much? Okay, here we go. Here's a reason why she's hated so much.
There are so many people that hate me for no reason.
Fucking bacteria. Fucking freaks.
Oh,
And the reason my comment sections are full of hatred towards me that is nonsensical.
Yeah, abortion time, get it out of me.
You ever wondered why people hate me for seemingly no reason?
Americans, when are you going to do it? Why isn't it already done?
And when you ask them, why don't you like her, they can't give you an answer.
Educated loser worm.
Sorry, some of this is really low.
I swear it is because of articles like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who cares? These men.
So I don't want to cry. It's gone a step too far.
Fucking moronic little piece of shit.
One car came past and they were screaming homophobic slurs.
You fucking losers.
Really, really bad words.
Oh, bad words. Hooty words.
You're a fucking Nazi.
I learned so much from her, man.
Talking ugly fucking loser, fucking freak, weak fucking loser.
This is why I was sobbing when Trump got in, because I knew these men would be emboldened in their weirdness.
Every single day, I think she's the most intelligent, beautiful.
Her hubby's weird.
Stop lying about my character and my intentions.
And every morning I wake up and I'm like, whoa.
You are dumb as dog shit.
Big brains, tiny cocks, and dumb numbskulls. You fucking idiots. Don't procreate. Just die. Just die. Just die.
You know, there's all these incels that are going, oh my God, fuck me. So they go and do. You know what would actually make people respect you a little bit and make people want you? Is if you did it.
She's talking about Trump.
Heaps of fan mail.
During that one, she was talking about Trump getting assassinated by an incel who they would then get heaps of fan mail and get himself forked as well. Yeah, her husband, I don't know, he's got like tattooed eyeliner or something on. He's got eyeliner on. I'm not sure if it's tattooed or not, but yeah, he's got eyeliner on. I wouldn't be calling him too much of a man. He just got kicked out of the USA because they're a threat. I would class them as a threat. Okay, Australian Patriot said Australian government's decision to provide $370 million in aid to Myanmar has sparked debate about the balance between international obligations and domestic priorities. Critics argue that such a significant sum should be redirected to address pressing issues at home, including housing affordability, healthcare wait times, cost of living relief for struggling Australians. Supporters of foreign aid maintain that Australia has a responsibility to contribute to regional stability and humanitarian relief, particularly in neighbouring countries experiencing conflict and crisis. They argue that foreign aid serves strategic interests and strengthens diplomatic relationships. No, it's a big fraud scheme. Look at US aid. You know USAID? Yeah. The Democrats can't even run a good campaign this time because they're broke. Because they were relying on USAID. Hello. The debate reflects the recurring tension in Australian politics between investing in global development and addressing domestic needs. Domestic comes first. Hint, hint. Citizens increasingly demand greater transparency about how aid money is spent and whether it achieves meaningful outcomes for the recipient communities. No, it goes into somebody's pocket. The Australian government's decision to provide $370 million in aid to Myanmar. Why do you say the same thing twice? I just read that. Okay, Pauline Hanson, today she announced One Nation's policy to get Australians a better return on the Commonwealth's gas and oil, our natural resources. We want more gas extracted and more money given back to Australians' future wealth. One Nation would partner with the oil and gas industry rather than treating it as an enemy, with the aim of increasing exploration, development and production of oil and gas. Under the policy, the party would introduce a 30% rebate for genuine oil and gas exploration in Commonwealth waters, while giving the Commonwealth Government the option, to take up to 30% equity stake in any production licence. This would mean real ownership of Australia's natural resources by the Australian people. Rather than acquiring ownership by force, the government would pay its share of costs as a joint venture partner and receive a corresponding share of production. To manage these interests, One Nation would establish a special investment vehicle called the Australian National Wealth Investment Corporation, which would hold the government's resource stakes and be tasked with making decisions for the greatest benefit of Australians. Government would receive their proportion of oil and gas, which could then be directed to the domestic market, used to support critical industries such as fertiliser, energy and smelting, or sold into export markets to help reduce government debt. NWIC would be overseen by a board made up of people with proven oil and gas industry experience rather than career bureaucrats, and the Commonwealth would remain a non-operating partner while private sector experts continue to run projects. The policy would also allow NWIC to invest in existing projects, but only on commercial arm's-length terms, with the government paying its way as an investment rather than taking over the projects. Yeah, because anything the government touches goes to shit. In return, the Commonwealth could choose to receive either its share of profits or physical gas supply, giving it the flexibility to support domestic manufacturing when needed or benefit from selling at high international prices. One Nation argues this approach is even better than domestic gas reservation policy, which can be blunt and inefficient. We also reject proposals for a 25% gas export tax because this measure is purposely designed to kill the gas industry. Alongside these structural changes, One Nation would cut red, green and black tape to speed up project development and set a target of deciding on projects within 6 months. We would abolish net zero policies and a safeguard mechanism while also having government help fund tax exploration. In taxation, the party would replace the failed petroleum resource rent tax for offshore gas with simpler Commonwealth royalty based on wellhead values. This new royalty system would apply only to future projects with existing PRRT arrangements grandfathered. Overall, One Nation's policy is designed to deliver greater returns to Australians, encourage oil and gas production, strengthen fuel security, lower power prices, reduce government debt and give Australians real ownership of our natural resources, which is what every country needs. Ryan Daly here in Australia said breaking SBS tried to ambush Pauline Hanson by linking her with neo-Nazis. Pauline set us straight. SBS said there's a neo-Nazi element in your support base. Hanson said, hold on, that's rubbish. That's got nothing to do with me and nothing to do with One Nation. SBS said, so you won't see this fringe commenting on your posts? Hanson said, don't you try and make out they're part of One Nation or part of our team. It's got nothing to do with us. She continued, don't you head down that path with me. I'm sick and tired of the media throwing this at me all the time. They've been doing it since the 90s. SBS said, I'm just saying they're supporters. Hanson said, don't ever go at me and try and belittle and denigrate my party or what I stand for. If only we had a Prime Minister that spoke that strongly when confronted with an issue. Well, there you go. You want to hear it?
Can I ask you about that Royal Commission and about some of One Nation's support base there as well? Because there is a neo-Nazi element of your support base. How will you ensure...
Sorry, Anna, that's rubbish.
Well, there are neo-Nazis who back you. They comment on Facebook.
Anna, that's got nothing to do with me, and that's got nothing to do with One Nation.
So you won't see those fringe ideologies coming...
Don't try and make out that they're part of One Nation or part of our team or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with it. So don't head down that path with me. I'm sick and tired of the media throwing this at me all the time.
I'm just saying there's...
This is where they get lefties to go in and support One Nation and say they're Nazis, you know, that type. Yeah. What's going on? Time is up. Have 1 hour. What happened? What happened there, Paul? Okay. Ryan Daly said the federal budget's gone down so bad with voters there are now calls for an early election. Albo's found himself copping criticism from within his own party, with Chris Minns slamming him in his tax changes. He's politically a dead man walking. There you go. And fuck Cynthia Nixon. Anti-woke meme said actress Cynthia Nixon out of Sex and the City. My kid is trans, my sister's kids are trans, every kid I know is trans and proud. What do you want to say to her? How do you know that many trans kids? I think you're a bit brainwashed. Jesus, God help them, honestly. Rizza said they had Australians that want to live in Australia. This will not end well. We need mass deportations. Apparently this is a lady after working with Aussies all day. Don't know who she is. Really? Really, love? That's how we feel about working with you guys all day. Not the ones that integrate properly into Australia, but the ones who don't, who, roll our eyes every time I see you now. The opinionated black woman auntie said, this headline tells me we definitely need more immigration diversity as our strength. The Daily Telegraph here in Australia said patients are waiting for hours in overflowing emergency departments. That's because they all go to the hospital when they have a slight sniffle. Patients are waiting for hours in overflowing emergency departments. Healthcare workers are burning out under relentless pressure, and hospitals are entering winter already stretched beyond capacity in Australia's most populous state. Which one? New South Wales hospitals are on the brink. Of course it is. You go to, not that long ago. Well, it was a few years ago now, actually. Really, it was quite a while ago. I went to Nepean Hospital in Penrith, right? It was probably, it might have even been 10 years ago. Anywho, right, the waiting room is filled with burkas. Yeah, for a sniffle. Their kids have got a sniffle, so they go straight to the hospital. See, these people, they don't learn, right? They don't come over the country. They don't learn the way the country works. They just do what they do. That's not integrating. Alexandria Marshall said a wealthy private sector makes the nation rich. A wealthy public sector makes the nation poor. That's just how reality works, and it does. So there's a lot of people hating on rich people, right? Wait till they leave your country because it's just not working properly, you know? And you'll find out how poor you can be. You need rich people. Basil the Great said, slept with, you mean raped by. You cannot hate the mainstream media enough. Apparently, right, this is Basil the Great, right, from England. A traffic girl slept with over 100 Asian men. And they call them Asian because they don't want to call them Indian. And all before she was 16, by the way. She didn't sleep with them. She was raped by them. Okay? That's just how it is. But yet, who's this? Who's this media? Something record. Okay. Don't trust them. Okay. Bob said, boom. Angus Taylor says it's time to kiss and make up with Pauline Hanson as pressure explodes on the Labor's controversial new tax plans. The Liberal leader confirmed he wants to work closely with Hanson and One Nation to block what he calls Labor's toxic taxes targeting trusts, negative gearing capital gains. Small business owners across Australia are furious, accusing Anthony Albanese of pushing hard-working Australians, while the housing crisis and cost of living disaster spiral out of control. Taylor warned the taxes could crush investment, hurt young Aussies trying to get ahead, and destroy confidence in the economy. Now the anti-Labor forces appear to be uniting and Canberra is watching very nervously. Is this the beginning of a major Conservative comeback? I don't know, but they have to work together to go against Labor's policies, okay? They do have to. They really, really do. And also, most of the people who hate rich people are lefties anyway, okay? They don't, tax the rich. Yeah, they're the people, okay? So don't hate the rich. Look, I admire anyone who made money honestly, the right way, and got rich. I really do admire people like that. I really, really do. Clandestine said, very interesting. Trump says he's holding off on disseminating Iran at the request of leaders of Qatar, Saudi Arabia and UAE, who say they can help finalise the deal. These were the three nations Trump visited on his Middle East trip in 2025. The rest of the Middle East sided with Trump against the radical Iranian regime. Everyone agreed it was Iran and their terror proxies that were standing in the way of peace in the Middle East. Trump said, I've been asked by the Emir of Qatar, Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Crown Princess of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, and the President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, to hold off on our planned military attack of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which was scheduled for tomorrow, and that serious negotiations now taking place, and that, in their opinion, as great leaders and allies, a deal will be made which will be very acceptable to the United States of America, as well as countries in the Middle East and beyond. The deal will include, importantly, no nuclear weapons for Iran. Based on my respect for the above-mentioned leaders, I've instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Daniel Kane, and the United States military that we will not be doing the scheduled attack of Iran tomorrow, but have further instructed them to be prepared to go forward with a full large-scale assault of Iran on a moment's notice. In the event that an acceptable deal is not reached, thank you for your attention to this matter, and that could be why Trump is spending time in DC instead of going to his son's wedding. He needs to be right on the ball. Wall Street Apes said Congressman Tim Burchett confirms on Joe Rogan that Bill Gates is behind the massive increase in ticks. Is anyone surprised? Now we have a whistleblower who says pilots are being paid to drop ticks by aircraft. This matches accounts in America of tick boxes being found. We are paid to spread ticks by air. It happens twice a year, early spring and early fall. This year we've been hired to do it earlier. The company receives the ticks in boxes. Each box contains millions of ticks. The aircraft used are generally single or dual prop aircraft, single pilot, and there's one other passenger that handles the dispersal. It pays a lot, and I mean a lot. And the people who are dropping it out of planes should also be held accountable. Here we have a whistleblower saying they are paid to disperse ticks across Canada. Now this sounds eerily familiar to what we're hearing about these boxes of ticks being found in America. The Gates Foundation funded a biotech firm called Oxitec for research on genetically modified cattle ticks. He's trying to get people to stop eating meat. I don't know. I actually think he's already been... I think Gates has probably already been, warned. Okay. And that this is just to wake people up. Okay, farmers claim to be finding boxes of ticks on their properties. Lyme disease cases are skyrocketing right at the time when Lyme disease vaccine is actively in the works. So without the ticks, they can't sell their vaccines. You'll never guess who's making it, Pfizer and Valneva. I don't know who they are, but hey. Holy shit. But don't believe every fear-driven thing you hear, okay? Because a lot of this is to wake people up. Okay, a lot of this may not be actually happening, but to wake people up. Lozzie B said, why are we mass importing people that treat our nation like a massive rubbish tip? It's really not that hard to put rubbish in the bin. Local to me, they dump their rubbish into our waterways and our lakes with our swans, pelicans and ducks. In Australia, we love and respect nature, our environment and our wildlife. Incompatible culture. How dare you? How fucking dare you? You disgusting pieces of crap. You don't dump your gut. Oh, my God. Do they have a house? If they have a house, they would have a bin with that house, okay? Use your bin. And if you got too much garbage, take a drive to the tip. It's not that hard. Holy shit. Yeah, push her over there. In you go. You go in there with it. All your rubbish, yeah, you lay on top of it, love. Tommy Robinson said this is effing outrageous. Bobby said Mr. Novak can be heard saying can't breathe. Police put handcuffs on Mr. Nowak. Oh, sorry, Nowak, not Novak. Who was lying on his side telling officers he'd been stabbed and that he could not breathe. The officer told Mr. Nowak that he was under arrest for suspicion of assault. Mr. Nowak repeated he'd been stabbed. A male voice said, I don't think you have, mate. Okay, this poor guy. Police were called to the scene but arrested this guy after Digwa claimed he had been racially abused. Okay, some idiot who stabbed him claimed he'd been racially abused, so they arrested this guy, not the guy that stabbed him, okay? This is freaking insane. Whether the sick man is found guilty or not, the trial's still ongoing. The police officers who did not seek immediate medical attention for the stabbed Henry Novak need to be named, prosecuted, and put on, what, leave? How about sacked? Okay, and more of the NDIS disability fraud investigation. Minnesota-style fraud on national scale. The voodoo witch doctor, is that her? Who continues to operate, okay, I think I've read that one. Okay, I just bookmarked it a few times. And this is it. I'm done. Retard Finder said that's it. I'm done. Oh, dear God.
And I love...
Let's go back to the beginning. Oh, dear.
So it is Saturday night, and I just got this dress.
Can't hear him. Saturday night, he got a dress.
I decided to go in green tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
I love these.
Can we stop this now?
I don't know what it is, but
please.
They are really the coolest dress.
You do not look like a woman in any way, shape, or form.
I guess spiked heels tonight.
So hey, Lancelot, how you going? Oh, my God. Can we just please? Can we have some common sense back? You going to a club looking like that, mate?
My other brother.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Someone get me off this ride. Stop the world, I want to get off.
I have some weight equipment, and I think I'm going to do it live and do some sort of...
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't need to see or hear anymore, okay? You just, look, do that in your own house, okay? Just do it in your own house. I don't want to see or hear. Jesus Christ almighty. God help us. Leftards Are Us by Rohan Guthrap. I've got no idea. Something seriously sus with this Labor government. The astonishing rise of Claire O'Neill's net worth. Do you see the mirror of USA and their fraud? Yeah, like another Nancy Pelosi, from under 1 million to over 20 million since entering politics. How? Her net worth increased under 1 million to over 20 million. Total growth is 2,500%. Her real estate portfolio is $4.2 million luxury apartment in Barangaroo, Sydney, an $8.5 million commercial building in Melbourne CBD, and a $2.5 million beachfront home in Lawn, Victoria. Yeah, I want to know. We need a Doge. We need Elon Musk or someone like him to come to Australia and go through. I'll help. I will voluntarily put my hand up. You don't have to pay me. I'll go through it without being paid. Okay? I will do it without being paid. Pull out anything I find sus, which will be a whole lot, I'm sure. The opinionated black woman auntie said this parasite will take every opportunity to get a photo, even using a brutal murder of tiny little Sharon that I reported on last week, the little Aboriginal girl who was murdered by another, oh God, pretending he actually cares. Anthony Albanese said the family of Kunmanjayi little baby have faced an unspeakable tragedy. Yeah, look, photo ops, that's all he's good for. Okay, I want to say, how do we know this is even real? But hey. Okay, Sean Davis said, why did Massey lose tonight? That was a few days ago, right? Massey went from principled libertarian during COVID to GOP leadership lapdog under McCarthy to anti-Trump Epstein obsessive in 2025 after tweeting about that issue a whopping 3 times in the decade prior. The nail in the coffin for him was voting against the One Big Beautiful Bill in 2025 because, according to Massey, it did too much to secure the border. Trump mercilessly trashed Massey in 2020, calling him a disaster for America and Kentucky and saying he should be thrown out of the GOP entirely. But Massey easily swatted that away and won 81-19. So you can't say he only lost because of Trump. He went toe-to-toe with Trump in COVID in 2020 and won overwhelmingly. Massey lost because he went from being perceived as a quirky but lovable nerd who seemed to genuinely believe everything he said to looking like a clout-chasing influencer who cared more about getting TV time with the Democrats on an issue he clearly never cared about until 5 minutes ago than he did about representing his voters. We'll never know what caused the apparent personality change. Maybe it was the death of his wife, maybe it was the McCarthy race followed by McCarthy's ouster, or maybe it was a desire for notoriety or media acclaim and lucrative podcasting career outside of Congress. Really? Lucrative podcasting career. Okay. But the drastic change was undeniable, as was the seeming lack of interest in much of anything happening in Kentucky. Blame Trump, blame Israel, blame Epstein, blame the tragic death of a spouse. I don't care. But you cannot just wave away 2020 Massey going face-to-face with the Trump machine and winning in a rout only to get smoked 6 years later. Massey voters didn't really change all that much, but he did, and they noticed. There you go. And Nick Sautor said just in, San Diego police were flat out refusing to name the mosque shooters. You ask why? Because it was a trans couple. California leftists are actively covering up trans violence. There you go. And I had bookmarked a whole lot of this. They killed 2 suspects involved in the Islamic Center shooting. I think this has backfired on the left. I think they set it up, probably backfired on them. Sarah Fields, according to the 75-page manifesto tied to the San Diego Islamic Center attack, here are the facts about the shooters based on their own words. They hated Jews. They also hated Islam. They were not trans, they were incels. They hated women. Their hatred for women was only surpassed by their hatred of Jews. They hated black people. They hated all immigrants. They hated gay and trans people. They were not MAGA, they did not like Trump, and they did not identify with the right. They openly encouraged the left to take out Trump and J.D. Vance. How do we reach such an insane level of radicalisation that literal kids are carrying out attacks and then taking their own lives afterwards? Yeah. Mental health problems. Okay, Sky News Australia, Palace insiders say King Charles' official abdication plan has been locked in if and when he chooses to pass the crown to Prince William. I don't know how true this is. But Nexta said a British radio station on 21st of May or maybe 20th of May accidentally declared King Charles III dead live on air. Radio Caroline suddenly announced that the king had died, played God Save the Queen, and then disappeared from the air for 15 minutes. It later turned out that the station had accidentally triggered the protocol for announcing the death of the monarch. Are we sure this was an accident? Wasn't he really sick? Okay, and Pauline Hanson, I want to apologise to people who've tried to get in touch with my office and haven't received a response. We're being inundated with thousands of calls, emails, messages every week. It's not possible to respond to all of them. The Albanese government cut the staff allocation to One Nation after the last election. I've been going to both the Prime Minister and Special Minister of State, Don Farrell, since the staff cuts. I've been begging and pleading with them to give us more staff to deal with the heavy workload. In fact, earlier this year, a staff member wrote to the Prime Minister directly explaining the extreme stress they are under. Labor hasn't even responded and couldn't care less. My staff have continued out of loyalty and they want to help the Australian people put their health, but their health has now become a serious issue. As the leader of One Nation, I have 5 electorate officers and just 2 parliamentary advisors. The leader of the Greens, Larissa Water, has 5 electorate officers and 15 advisors. The Prime Minister has 59 personal advisors. Adding his other ministers, the government employs a total of 504 personal advisors. This is in addition to the 1,200 plus employees in the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet alone, and 185,000 employed by the government as bureaucrats in the public service. Jeez. This is a Prime Minister using his powers to disadvantage his political opponents who don't agree with his agenda. My office deals with people in very difficult situations, complicated family law, immigration, NDIS, veterans and welfare, plus many other matters. The Australian people's personal struggles are worse than ever. My staff have had to talk people down from the edge of taking their own lives. Many people come to us because they get absolutely no assistance from the government and many other political officers. It's beyond a joke the lack of help that Labor is providing, considering I would have one of the busiest political officers in the country, and she would right now. I didn't want to air this out in public, but this Albanese government has given me no choice. It's not that we don't want to do the work for the Australian people, it's that we physically can't. My staff want to help this country and the people in it, but they're so stressed they're close to collapsing. I'm the leader of a political party that's polling more than the major political parties. The government has failed to staff One Nation anywhere close to a functional level. This is pure bloody-minded politics by the Labor Party. I've tried everything I can to help the people and continue to do so, but my hands are tied. The Labor Party like to go on about battlers. Well, I've got some in my office trying to do a decent job for many Australians, but they don't care about them. No, only certain battlers, only the ones that they put up that they say are battling, right? And Aaron Rupar said, Trump said, we've taken people that were dead. We had a person given the last rites, gone. The kids were crying and everything, and then started them on this drug and the person became better. It works. Now, he's not talking about bringing people back from the dead. What he is meaning is they've lost all hope. There's no more hope for them. They're on their deathbed. You know what I mean? And then something has worked for them. Okay? I want to know which drug it is, by the way.
10 years, by the way, we think we've cut it in half, but you do need a period of time. Without waiting many, many years, we know the drug works because we've taken people that were dead. We had a person given the last rites, gone. The kids are crying and started them on this drug, and the person became better. It works, you know, and some don't work. But you learn really fast. It's called the ultimate test, I think, right? You know, they test all these things. They use animals all over the place. They use everything to test.
He's talking about the right to try medicine, I believe.
Person's going to die. So 10 years, by the way.
Which everyone should have, the right to try. Here we go. Grok, Trump described anecdotal cases under the Right to Try Act where terminally ill patients, some given last rites, received experimental treatments and recovered dramatically. He used hyperbolic language like taken people that were dead and the person became better. No specific drug was named, no clinical data provided, and no treatment literally reverses biological death. It's exaggeration of near-death recoveries, not resurrection. The image is just elusive art. And they're talking in response to this. All Day Astronomy, who said Trump says a new experimental drug reverses death, literally bringing people back to life. No, it doesn't bring the dead back to life. I don't know. How do people get that way out of it? Out of that, you know? I knew straight away. It's like, no, he's talking about someone who's on their deathbed. War correspondent said breaking President Trump celebrates the death of former special counsel Robert Mueller. Was this recently? Who investigated him in the Trump-Russia hoax. Wow. Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. I've got deja vu. Did this just happen or did I report on this a while ago? Guys, you can help me out here. Remember you said Robert, I don't know if it was Robert Mueller, someone just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Trump. Is this from a while ago? He did 2 months ago. How is this breaking? Yeah. I thought it was. For God's sake. Who's this person? Mate, you've got to get on top of it, you know? This is me talking, mind you, who can't get on top of anything. The notice has said Melbourne's proposed $1.2 million Little India precinct. Oh, we've already got a little... We've already got India. Go back there, okay? We don't need a little India here. Could be scrapped after it was overwhelmingly rejected by local residents. Thank God for that. Indian community leaders have backed the project and want funding up to $5 to $10 million. Go back to India, you freaking idiots. Jeez. I can't even listen to this bullshit. But listen to the way she talks, right? Retard Finder said, retarded woman plays the game of would you rather. The written caption on the video indicates the game is between Muslim men and non-Muslim British men. She just makes up fake scenarios for 4 minutes. Deranged retard. And the way she speaks, it's painful.
Hi, so let's play a fun game of Would You Rather? Okay, ladies, this one's for you. We've got 2 groups of men.
I'm looking at my watch going, how long is it going to take you to say this? Hello? Who are you talking to? A child? Are you talking to a child here? You absolute forkwit.
So, would you rather? Let's look at Group A first.
Would you rather let's look at Group A first? I didn't think that. Was that a question? I have no idea. Okay. She's not even making any freaking sense.
So, Group A is a group of men who drink alcohol excessively. They urinate and are sick and in the street.
And the other ones just rape you, so kill you maybe. Don't worry about that though, don't worry about that shit. Just worry about the ones that get drunk and maybe vomit on the street. Who cares? Okay?
And drop litter.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
Every other word they speak is a
If you're that worried about it, you can pick it up.
swear word. And they're quite happy to
Swear words don't worry
in
me.
front of their children. They would rather spend their week.
No, it doesn't sound like she's playing a game of anything. It sounds like she's just bagging out white men, okay? No, I'm not listening to that shit. Plus, she's taken forever to say what she needs to say. Hello, woman. Someone should take that woman's phone off her, maybe. I don't know. For fuck's sake. John Cleese said, I read everywhere about the hard right. The term used to describe people who are Islamophobic, skeptic. That is, people who are doubtful about the merits of a religion that demands child marriage or beating women and death to all who oppose it. Perhaps sensible right would be a better description. This is John Cleese. Okay? The actor. Faulty Towers, shit, what movies? The World According... Was he in The World According to Garp? I don't know. Monty Python movies, okay? Plus Faulty Towers. Okay, James Wood said, here we go again. The mainstream media lapdogs will ramp up the Ebola and hantavirus. I've already done that one last time. So there we go. We're at the end of the news. It only took me an hour and a half. And I could have bookmarked a whole lot more. Holy cow. Yeah, Alex is wishing everyone had a wonderful week. Back in about 80 minutes as before I started. Shannon's driving to Mildura, so he's only lurking. Yeah, Alex said safe driving. Glad we're all coming along with you. Yep, Shannon, road trip. Virginia Brooks said, good evening, everyone. Oh, shoot, there you go. I was waiting for that. The big jump. How far? Oh, that's as far back as I can get. G'day, Kai, said Zal. Harry said, Sandy, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Never give up. No, never give up. It's all right. It's going to be okay. Paul said, Queensland two-shot. Sal said, no, Sandy, you're following the wrong narratives. Alex said, good on that elderly woman. They definitely won't be doing it again. Yeah, Kai said, I absolutely love the old girl. Out to lunch said, he's a sheesh person. Shane said, late again. How you going, Shane? Sandy said, Harry, I can too, but for me it's a struggle to think I have enough to get me there. Maybe just sad today. Oh, we have those days, Sandy. We have those days. I'm having a week of them. This week was a bit, like, for fuck's sake, can I just be all right? Can I just wake up and have a good night's sleep, wake up healthy? No, not possible. Okay. Zal said, Grambo. Paul said, 2 ball down. And Theo said, half a man now. He's only half a man. Those 2 guys that got their nuts blown off by the grandma. Deb said, Joanne Ratcliffe and Belle Louise may be in barrels. I'll send you their video, Hev. What? Okay. Lisa, how you going? Funny. Sandy said, Zal, I follow 20 narratives or theories but can't favour any one these days. They all turn to dust. Zal said, balls and all. Balls to the wall. Or balls on the wall, maybe. Whereas, did his balls end up in the wall? She shot his dick off. I don't know if the balls went with it, but hey. J1 said, I noticed a bloke squatting beside a tombstone the other day while walking the dog. I said, morning. He said, no, just taking a shit. Immigration is out of control, I tell you. Oh, crazy. Alex said, these monsters keep getting away with sick things over and over again, but at least there's one less monster who lost his balls. Kai said, personally, I'm not a fan of guns. It's too quick. I am, Kai. Deb said, books are dangerous. Alex said, I wonder if she told him to shh. Kai said, though at a mile I can play AT&T. Zal said, Sandy, it's going to appear All doom and gloom, but nothing is what it seems. Exactly. That's why I keep, all these news things that make you scared or make you fear or, that's mostly to wake other people up, okay? Most of it is. Not all real, not all true, but mostly just to wake people up, okay? That's what I believe we're living through right now. Sometimes I get carried away too. Don't worry. I get like, oh, what the fuck are they doing now? Yeah. But hey, I know in the end it's got to go through this. Harry said, Sandy, you're not alone. Get strength from our community. We will overcome. Paul said he still has the snake but lost the marbles. Yeah, one had his balls to the wall. Anyway, Alex said they should let her join the force. They should have, yes. Kai said nothing is what it seems, is what bothers me, seeing how they're required to tell you what they're doing. Alex said Snopes are garbage. Oh, yes, they are. They really are. Sandy said, Zal, yes, true, but the moment this world is turning to dust, but I am hoping ancient intelligence will come up with something so spectacular. Kai said, by that rule, that truth also contains a lie. Paul said, Leering centres right here. Alex said, sounds more like con men, not businessman. Yes, exactly. Zal said, Sandy, the world is not what you think. Paul said, reaping the scam. Sandy said, Zal, you don't know what I think the world is. Can it be contained? Okay. Zal's trying to help Sandy and God love yous. You can have a discussion in there. Paul said, I say good luck with AI teachers when they all leave. Kai said, wondering when the time war angle gets brought in. Dana said, I'm sick to death with the imbalance of justice in this world is revolting, to say the least. I know. Paul said, we are cooked. Alex said, the chickens are soon coming home to roost and everyone who's complicit in anything wrong will soon realise their mistakes, only then it will be too late. Alex said, good luck, Hev. Hope it arrives quickly. Yeah, is that about my citizenship? I'm trying to go for Australian citizenship. I've been here 48 years, I realised. Kept saying, I've got to do my citizenship, got to do it. So finally just did it. Except I left one thing out because I couldn't upload it. It wouldn't bloody let me. And that happens to be like a passport photo. Lucky because it's a damn ugly one. But hey, I tried to upload it 20 times and it wouldn't let me. By the way, I've been watching a lot of Aussie dashcam videos on YouTube. Australia, you say? Australia. Well, they're playing music that I don't even know what the fuck that's from. It's Asian music, it's Indian music, it's every music. There's a few Aussies in there, right? But go and watch Australia dashcams. And I swear some of them are just Karens. Just going, I'm sending this in. That person's got to get in trouble. So I don't even know what they did, half of them. I'm like, what? What happened there? I must have looked away for 1 second or blinked or something. It's eye-opening anyway. And then the people who are on the road... When did we start driving on the right side of the road? I want to know because that seems to be a lot of people who just drive on the right side of the road. Like America. Okay, I'm wondering, first I was wondering, are we having a lot of Americans come over who don't know the road rules? But I don't think they are. I think they're like Asians, Indians, Muslims maybe. I don't know. A lot of people driving on the wrong side of the road, man. I don't know. Okay. Harry said, Leering Centre. I'm sure the guy who made the sign misspelled it on purpose. Somehow he knew it was a scam. Kai said, Dana, it's the golden rule. He who has the most gold makes the rules. Paul said, it's Muslim Buzz Lightyear. Sal said, I guarantee all those NDIS fraudsters are connected to the local councils and politicians. I see it being exploited in my suburb by the cars the blacks are driving around here. Oh, yeah, a lot of immigrants drive much better cars than we do. Alex said, what happened to Pauline's little funny cartoons? Oh, she's got them back. They're coming back now. But she's got them on YouTube herself. And I feel like, I don't know if I'll get censored for playing them now. Kai said, I think most state and country councils are infiltrated. I think they are too. Alex said they just love destroying this earth and all nature with no care in it for everyone. Yeah, but they use climate change as they care for, like, environment and all that shit, but really that's the excuse they use to destroy the environment, okay? So if you're on the side of destroying the environment, then go with the climate change groups, okay? Because that's what they're doing. Not only that, they're trying to kill people. Yeah, lack of electricity will kill people. Okay. Sandy said, I think we're in that place where the unstoppable force meets the immovable object, hence the grinder. Yep. How you going, Sherry? Did someone just fall over? I heard a bang again. No, hopefully not. I don't know what that was. Okay, I'll have to hurry up and jump off. Harry said Islam is a political agenda that oppresses women. Kai said Sandy's correct. Sandy said in its myriads of shapes, forms and ideas, tell me we're not ground into dust eventually. Paul said, well, if you subscribe to her channel, you would know. Alex, what? Who? What? When? Where? Why? Kai said humankind has its back to the wall. The wall is looking nervous too. Yeah, Harry said Massey was a shill. Alex said, I don't know she had a channel, Paul. I didn't know she had a channel. Who are we talking about? Sandy said, Alex, oh yes, I forgot about them, but she's been busy winning. Sandy said, oh, I think it's also fascinating, Kai Zal. Leslie, how you going? Obama in hiding, being chased around the world. I hope so. Kai said, Massive was a rebel Democrat sabotaged by his own side. Harry said, Massive was controlled opposition. Yes. Sandy said, it's better not to try and sneak into Australia. He better not try and sneak into Australia. Kai said, this exact confusion is exactly what the original point of their ops were. Sandy said, I have Abyss sis needs to see some justice in this world. Alex said, refund. Sandy said, size. Out to lunch said, trans bait and switch. Yeah, you want a refund if you've seen that after that. Because, I mean, that's what filters can do to people. So you may look at some person on screen. I don't know how anyone's trusting anyone at the moment. You might look at someone on screen, they look beautiful, but, in real life, whoa. Okay, and I don't use filters either, okay? There is some kind of automatic filter that takes away a bit of wrinkles, but hey, But even me, there you go. I don't exactly look like what I look like on camera. Well, I do, but just a couple more wrinkles, And I don't know how to turn that off. I've tried going, there's no filters on. There's no filters on the camera or anything, so I don't know why it does it. Even Grok thinks I look better than I do. There you go. Harry said Australia's infested by Freemasons. Kai said the US too. Yes, we're all in the same boat. Sandy said sometimes when I'm diving and I'm the only one on the road. Oh, driving, you mean? In the bush, I feel like a bullet speeding through everything in my capsule. There you go. Sal said 75. Sandy said my car. Deb said, hi, sweet Sherry. Paul said, Harry, yes, you know. Harry said the world is infested by Freemasons, but in Australia they took it to the next level. Yeah, I think so. Sandy said, well, I agree, Harry. I can honestly say it isn't infested by Aussies anymore. No. Jennifer, how you going? It's Norfolk Hev. It's Norfolk Hev, lol. No fork. No fork. Harry said, has any one of you heard about Ricardo Bossi? I haven't heard about him for ages. Sandy said, Freemasons, Muslims, Indians, Chinese, what happened to the Italians and the Greeks? I don't know. Yeah, I've got no idea. Alex said, thanks, Paul, just subbed and we'll watch that later. Kai said, I heard of that, but recently no real knowledge about him. Paul said, Harry, get a Freemason sticker and put it on your car, never get pulled over. I wonder what would happen if we all did that. Paul said, it's terror written on her face. Deb said, Paul said BS. Deb said traditional. Kai said, I will never accept these things calling their group people. Out to lunch said, if you just joke about buying a child, you go to jail, but not them. Smack my head, yeah. Sandy said, what about Ricardo, Harry? I've seen him a bit. Alex said, I would never feel sorry for a disgusting arsehole like that. Those poor, beautiful girls, they won't end up safe in the UK, though. Just young, working-age men, it's all backwards. Deb said, oh, my God. Dana said, I bet he wouldn't be making those choices if those twins were boys. Facts. Yeah. Paul said, Bonnie Abbey. Harry said, Ricardo Bossi is the leader of Australia One. He's part of the alliance. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Ricardo Bossi. I don't trust him fully. Alex said, I wouldn't mind if little innocent children like that were released and adopted into the UK, but it's always filthy, abusive men who hate us. Make it make sense. And Paul said, what a cuck. Sandy said, is he with Pauline, Harry? Pauline? Alex said, I think people can see for themselves how unhinged she is without anyone else having to point it out. Abby Chatfield. She's just totally unhinged. She's got, that's an Australian with Trump derangement syndrome, that Abby Chatfield that I was talking about. Her and a hubby or a boyfriend, the cuck. Sandy said, nowhere is safe for kids outside of their homes these days, and sometimes even that's risky. Sandy said, I've got to go. Sorry, I have to miss the rest. I'll come back again when I can. Cheers till then. Thanks. Have a nice weekend, everyone. You too, Sandy. Harry said, Sandy, I don't know who Pauline. She meant Pauline. But Ricardo Bossi was a lieutenant colonel, and he's a great guy in contact with the Alliance. Well, if he's meant to be part of it, it'll all come together. He'll have to join Pauline Hanson, I think. Kai said, I was homeless from age 4 to 10. It changes children. They become able to shut off feelings. It doesn't destroy them if it doesn't destroy them spiritually. That would be really hard. Harry said, Ricardo Bossi will probably be the first PM of Australia once the pedophile Satanists are done. Kai said, technically we all snap. Some keep it behind a polite smile, like expected. Kai said, I, for instance, I'm overly protective of animals and children. Yeah, I am too, though. I don't know what Paul was talking about. Time's up 1 hour. Kai said children because I remember animals because they were my only friends for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, J1, defund the SBS. That's like an ABC in Australia. We got an ABC and an SBS, and they're both paid for by the government, or the taxpayers, sorry. Harry said, Kai, you're very courteous. Respect. Paul said, Pauline started with Stop the Asian Invasion. Anybody remember? Yes, I do. Kai said, I'm honestly not sure what I've become. I could call Heresy, Pennsylvania for evaluation for brain surgery Monday. Oh, good luck with that, Kai. God love you. Sherry said, sorry, having a bad day. Speaking of food banks, just got back from one, standing in the pouring rain. All they have is junk food. No. Why don't they have fruit and vegetables? And meat? What? Why? Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that, Sherry. Paul said now it's Muslims. Yeah, well, it's all of them. They're letting too many of all of them in. Like, I don't know what I am. Am I racist? I'm worried about the excessive Chinese in this country, the excessive Indians in this country, and the excessive Muslims in this country. Which one am I racist towards? All of them? Fine. How about no one in the country till we sort the country out? How's that? Alex said, sounds like every child she knows has been coerced and damaged for life with no reverse. Very sad. Yes, it does, doesn't it, Cynthia Nixon? What the fuck are you doing, Cynthia Nixon? Kai said, not super worried, more worried for my dogs and wife. Harry said, the Prophet Muhammad married Aisha when she was 6 years old and consummated the marriage when she was 9 years old. Exactly. Kai said, sorry, dark and moody lately. We all sound like we're having the same kind of week, man. Sal said, SBS putting the Nazi angle on PM, little realising the Nazis were socialist leftoids. Exactly. They're the socialists. As Al said, Angus Taylor is only suddenly interested because he can get a foothold in power. Not only that, if you go and listen to Pauline Hanson the last few days, she has spoken about they do need to The Liberals and One Nation need to work together to overcome Labor and the Greens' really, really bad ideas, and then One Nation can kind of, hopefully take the lead. Alex said the poor 16-year-old child she was abused by them, and that paper is complicit in covering that up. Disgusting. They are. That's why I wanted to know who it was. Harry said, Hev, we love you all. You are the best. Oh, God love you. Sal said it's not even conservative. It's basically right and wrong. I was actually thinking of packing it in with streaming. Ooh. I'm not going to, but I was thinking about it. Jesus. YouTube, what are you doing to me? No, it's mainly because I'm sick and I just don't know anymore. I don't know how to help myself anymore. Timmy, help! I need someone to actually, like, follow me around and show me what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong? Okay, as Al said, it's not even conservative. It's basically right and wrong. Yeah, it's common sense as far as I know. Kai said, see, I'm regaining the ability to fake a better mood. Kai said, I feel like you guys give me strength through the spiritual contact, which is what this is. Well, there you go. That's why I'm not giving up. I'm not going to go away. I'm not going to stop streaming. Out to lunch said, did you see the person in a hyper-realistic mask on the news giving an interview, and you could see the neck part clear enough to tell it was a mask? Who was it, I wonder? I can't remember. I haven't seen it. Was it that lady that went into the... Oh, there was a lady who went into, I think, the White House wearing a mask. I've played it before, quite a while ago, but then she took it off and showed them what they can do with masks. Kai said, we focus this little patch of chaotic co-manifestation while gathered. Lancelot, checking to hear your spicy take on the insanity. God love you. Paul said, after Trump, who's next? JD or Rubio? I think Trump will be in for a while, yeah. Kai said, the current control system only works because our fear of death, which doesn't exist. Kai said, Baron? Lancelot said, boxes of ticks, what a surprise, not. Sal said, Gates has been processed years ago, he's a brand name now. Yeah, I think a lot of this is to wake people up, honestly, like dropping ticks from planes. They might be dropping boxes labelled and everything, like to try and... I don't even know if they'd go that far. But, like, if you really wanted to convince the public, drop empty boxes, label ticks, and then you'd have a story. Okay, Alex said, we love you, Kai. Hang in there, dear. You're a warrior. Yeah. Kai said, the tick boxes are a toss-up between Deep State and China. Paranormal Oz, how going? Hope you're doing well too. Sal said, where I live in Western Sydney, it's been turned into a tip due to these third... I know, Sal, I know. Harry said, after Trump. He's going for a fourth term, 45, 46, 47, 48. Kai said, Alex, you're an awesome friend. Lancelot said, wow, throwing trash, this disgusting activity infuriates me. Yep. I mean, God, that much trash, like they throw it in their own waterways. I watched a video of the Indians where they dump their trash and it's in their rivers, okay? A lot of them. I don't know if it's all of them, but it's a lot of them. We don't want our waterways full of trash, thank you very much. Those who want to do that, go back to India. See you later. Paul said, always drive in my 50k car to dump rubbish. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Can't afford another bin. Kai said, your in-person friends are lucky to have you. Your in-person friends are lucky to have you, yep. Sal said, criminal justice system at work again. Lancelot said, claims every damn thing. Claims propaganda Q. Paul said, the legs, for fuck's sake. Oh, that was that muscly man. Lancelot said, good luck, nutter. Yep. Kai said, composting and heavy recycling used to be par for the course. Yes, it used to be. I'm still trying to do it, but anyway. Alex said, they're still turning their shithole into our shithole. It's the same thing around here. Bins overflowing with the crap They should go to the tip and landfill, and now the bin man won't collect. Yep. J1 said vomit. Deb said small boob. Lancelot said, what a sad life choice. Sal said, mental issues in the green dress. Yes, I think so. Out to lunch said, don't get off, Hev. We need those people to get off. Yes, we do. Harry said, Trump was the president of the corporate USA 45, 46, and became president of the Restored Republic 47 and is still eligible for another term under the Restored Republic. Oh, 45, 46, 47, 48. Lancelot said those who buy the manipulation, its own mental illness. Paul said, arise my budgie. I don't know what that's about, but hey. Was that about his thing in the green dress? Okay, J1 said, Claire O'Neill is the one who refused Trump Jr. a visit. Oh, okay. Alex said, not sure if it's the bald head or the fact that his lunchbox is poking out of his new dress. Other than that, looks well like a woman. Kai said, removed, but still. Kai said, I mean, can't beat them, join them. Lancelot said, pretending to care, there's a vast statement. Paul said, a Massey lost idiot, what? Alex said, I still wouldn't join them, but I get you, Kai. Harry said, all religions started with an encounter of the third kind. Demons are bad aliens, angels are good ones. Lancelot said, Trump loves Israel. He likes the place. The place is in the Bible. Go read the Bible if you don't believe us. But he is running them. It's not the other way around. Netanyahu is not running Trump. Trump is running Netanyahu, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. Well, he does love Israel, but not the... he loves the Bible, Israel, I believe. Kai said, you're probably not deformed, Alex. And he's a businessman. He knows how to be nice to people, to work with them. I wouldn't underestimate Trump, put it that way. Kai said, Harry knows what's up. Lancelot said, podcasting career, what a joke. Yes, it is a joke. Podcasting career? No, it's not. It's a hobby. Well, at least mine is. It's a hobby. It's not a career. You can't make money off it. What the fuck? And they keep taking all your subs. About 100 a month they're doing. Yeah. Nice one, YouTube. Can you take whatever algorithm you've got on me back off again? You gave me my channel back. You've still got the algorithm on there. It's trying to punish me for anything I say or do. Yeah. Harry said, Lancelot, Trump loves the people of Israel. He doesn't like its Zionist leaders. There you go, Harry. Harry got it right. Lancelot said, Trump is playing a dark game. We all see it. Oh, okay. I'll agree to disagree with you on that. I mean, he's playing a dark game, but he's going to win. And he's not dark. Is my personal opinion. Kai said, it's even possible that the bad ones use soul energy. J1 said it's a dark war. Yeah, exactly. You said it better than I did, J1. Kai said, search soul leaving the body caught on video. Harry said, Lancelot, you're not reading what's happening right. Lancelot said, 0. Honestly, that's the poison of our times. Paul said, it's true. Alex said, MK Ultra never stopped, just changed names. Yes, it did. Lancelot said, I avoid reading the propaganda. Kai said, it occurred to me today, a Faraday cage around the body at passing might trap it. Oh, wow. Leslie said, that's not the first time an announcement about King dying has been put out. Yeah. Lancelot said, I watch, I notice, I pay attention to motivation. Harry said, obviously you don't. Shut off the TV. Kai said, possibly the same thing, but Dyson sphere-sized. Kai said, got to catch 'em all. Harry said, Lancelot, well, you're wrong about Trump. Just agree to disagree. Honestly, it's the best way, you know. You can try and convince people, but at this point, I don't believe we're going to convince anyone. They've got to see it for themselves. Deb said, I say you have had a few OBE, Kai. Sal said, these politicians are psychopaths. Alex said, yes, remember when it happened to Hillary too after she was bundled in the van? The news station said she died. She came back out skipping and jumping, lol. Leslie, yep. Kai said, Paul, look up the proof of a soul, what energy is, what Faraday cages are. It's an interesting thought, Kai. Harry said if Trump and the alliance weren't in control, most of us would have been dead by now. Oh, yeah, there'd be World War III by now. Lancelot said, my perspectives are my own, thankfully, so far. Yeah, everyone's got their own. Look, we've all got our own opinions. We've all got our own views. And so we just have to agree to disagree if we, instead of arguing with people or trying to convince people, really, because I don't know. It's hard these days. Kai said, Wendy Williams got mobbed by crow souls. Slow that clip away way down in their crowd around her head. Harry said, critical thinking is the key. Yes, it is. Alex said, best way to be, Lancelot. J1 said, Trump interrupted the sleepwalking. Yes. Harry said, Wendy Williams from the Plasmatics. J1 said, broke the spell. Leslie said, yes, Alex, she's gone. She had so many doubles. Oh, God love you.
At Shannon Spear 8,751 donated $2.99 through Super Chat. Arrived safe what I miss.
Not a whole lot. There was not a big news week this week. So you haven't missed too much, a bit here and there, but I don't think you've missed too much. Thank you very much, Shannon. I appreciate that. God love you. You're a legend. Lancelot said, Trump is a very well-trained tool for whatever forwards the game plan to create global control. I don't agree with that, but hey, Lancelot, you got your opinion. That is perfectly fine. J1 said Trump is ushering the new financial system. Kai said, no, Wendy Williams from the Wendy Williams Show. Lancelot said, can't keep up with the manipulation spin, no surprise. Sherry said, you're right, Hev, Mueller died months ago. Yeah, I thought he did. Kai said, I forget why she's famous enough to have gotten a show. Alex said, yeah, I think one of them is called Teresa Barnwell, but probably many more than that, Leslie. Lancelot said, please spare us, with a little vomity face. Kai said, Lance, they've only got just about every possible spun. Paul said, India owns every small business around me. Oh, no. Lancelot said, this is our reality. Sherry could she talk any slower? Deb said, fuck me. Paul said, burp. Deb's thumbs down. Hang on, is it thumbs down? I don't know. Could be a chicken. I'm at that place again, Deb, or I can't see shit. Don't know what it is. Okay, that little emoji, I can't see it. Kai said, Wendy Williams made a remark about someone and said that if she's wrong, she eat crow literally. She was wrong, she ate crow, like a week later collapsed on stage. Oh, wow. Lancelot said, oh, hell no, so glad I'm old. I'll be drinking and smoking until I thankfully check out of this nightmare. Oh, shoot. Where was I up to? Way back, way back. Here somewhere, Wendy Williams somewhere. Okay. Sherry said, why do I feel like I'm living in a bad nightmare? Yeah, we all are. It's fucking hell. I don't know. Alex said, I think the woman has been on the gin. Glug, glug. She needs 3 times speed, let alone 2 times. And Deb said, a fish called Wanda. Paul said, Kai, are you having flashbacks? Kai said, much love, Shannon. Drive safely, brother. Alex said, I think we all do. Wake us up. I want to get off this ride. Harry said, thank you, Hev. Kai said, I remember watching her collapse in slow motion. I remember Wendy Williams collapsing, yep. She looked like she's seen something that scared the shit out of her. Kai said, pretty hard to see the shadows whipping around her head. Kai said, sound Mexican there. Lancelot said, common courtesy, respect, consideration. Living a loving life within one's means without tracking, taxes or propaganda. Not my choices to support this. Not my choice to support this. Yep, fair enough. Paul said, Wendy crow eating. Out to lunch said, penis is mightier than the sword, but no match for a cordless hole puncher. Yes, exactly. Yeah, since we're redefining everything now, a gun is now a cordless hole punch. Mm-hmm. Sherry said, we love to meet you all when this night Mary's over, we can all be assured we will all have PTSD from this battle. Kai said, still don't get it. I must be retarded too. Kai said, I got my fingers crossed for Asteroid. Lancelot said, you're doing great work, darling. Oh, God love you. Kai said, oh, volcano. Silky has been covering the volcanoes popping off. Lancelot said, this is a testimony for the deeply spiritual to rise. We are the last hope. Alex said, me too. Would be awesome to all go camping together and sit around a massive campfire sharing stories all night about how we all got through it, Sherry. Yep, wouldn't it be good? Paul said, Kai, it happened so long ago. You must be having flashbacks. Do you understand now? I don't know what we're talking about here. Anyway, Lancelot said, I'm 70. I've been paying attention for a long time. Yep. Alex said, yes, for your citizenship. Glad it's on the way. Yay. Yeah, but I didn't include one photo, and I think it's a pretty important photo. So I'm waiting to get an email back saying, hello, you didn't include the photo, to which then I can reply. I tried to upload it over 20 times, and it would not upload. And believe me, I tried over 20 times, not 20, over. Okay, I kept trying and trying and trying. It wouldn't let me upload it. So I'll email it to them. Okay. Kai said, I'm quiet as I am in person. I'd probably be a friction point. Kai said, constantly hearing, are you mad? Alex said, have for PM. No, I can't be. I wasn't born here. Paul said, ding, bing, ding, a ling. Kai said, saying no until it's a lie. Kai said, here in West Virginia, they almost drive in the middle of the road. Lancelot said they have more than enough money. This is a power play. Oh, we know. Yeah, Lancelot, definitely. They've got all the money in the world. They want the power. Alex said, if have for PM, there would definitely be bong o'clock. I don't smoke anymore though, lol. Kai said, none of these people have ever heard the term pivot point. Mm-hmm. Yep, and Harry said, don't forget thumbs up, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kai said, I had fourth. Alex said, I didn't know Pauline Hanson had a channel, but Paul added, and now I sub for funny little cartoons. Yes, there you go. Yes, Pauline Hanson has her own YouTube channel, and I would recommend Aussies to go and sub to that. Alex said, lots of Chinese do good-looking women filter and say they're all men, and they're all men. Well, I showed one the other day, didn't I, of an Asian person with the filter on, and then the filter failed, and then she didn't look the same. She lost heaps of subs, apparently. Alex said, sometimes the filter slides in the faces of the people who are watching are priceless. Yes. Kai said, hang on. Oh, what was that? Last night someone sat on my front step, smoked 4 cigarettes, sniffing them right there on the deck, left a lighter and a cigarette in the pack. Who knows the message? Maybe, I don't know, have one on me. Or maybe don't. Kai said, needless to say, I'll be keeping an eye open tonight. Alex said, oh, strange. Maybe they thought they just needed a rest. At least they left one for you, Kai. Kai said, probably a past associate. I'm not concerned, really, more interested than anything. Oh, nice cup of tea. Alex said, see if they turn up again, Kai. Alex said, take care, God bless, see you soon, Sandy. Kai said, I'm going to be looking for them, getting Wi-Fi camera delivered to proximity activated. Yeah, we had to get cameras here because people are going and trying people's doors at night here. Trying to break in, just trying the door to see if it's open so they can walk straight in. Kai said, Hershey, Pennsylvania. Alex said, I think there was a ringing alarm in the background of a video and why Paul said time's up referring to the alarm. Okay. Kai said, not heresy, although it probably is. Kai said, Doc says, how can I help? I'll be like, was wondering if you could chop on my skull, son. Oh, no, Kai. Alex said, so sorry to hear about that. Hopefully you manage to get some decent food soon. Praying for you, Sherry. God love you. Kai said, last guy wasn't very careful about it. Harry said, if you are sick, go full carnivore. Alex said, no, you can't leave us, Hev. We would understand, though. You have to look after yourself first. We love you. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. If I do need to take some time off, I'll take some time off, but I won't go away completely. Kai said, yes, high protein animal fats. I've been doing that. I've been eating a lot of animal fats and not a lot of protein. Out to lunch said, I shared on my ex account recently. Kai said, sounds stupid, but try grounding. Yeah, I know, yeah, taking your shoes off and getting your feet in the grass and dirt, yep. Harry said, Kai, yes, I've been full carnivore for 2.5 years and I feel amazing. Lovely. That's the way. Alex said, can you share your account so I can follow out to lunch? Sherry said, I'm going to try and get you some more subs, Heb. I know a lot of great channels of people like you. Couple of channels don't care if you refer other channels. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, it's more YouTube. They've got an algorithm on me that's hitting me hard, I believe. They haven't taken those ones off, yeah, that they put on me before I got deleted, I think. Kai said, I've always been a meat eater, breaks my neck, 5 in my back, and a list literally from head to toe, mostly God's will, but meat had to help. Alex said, I'm so lucky and glad to know you all. Harry said, actually, carnivore is really easy. You just go straight to the meat section and skip all the poison. Yeah, I would love to do that. I need to go to a butcher because the one that ships straight from the farm to your door, it's all frozen and I'm only one person. Like, I feed me and my dad. We're only 2 people and my dad is a very small eater, and so when you stick 6 or 8 chops, let's say lamb chops, in one package and it comes frozen, I can't separate that to eat it at separate times. So I have to try and eat it 2 or 3 days in a row to try and use it up. I need my meat wrapped individually. I wonder if I could ask them to do that. I don't know. Might be worth a try. And anyway, don't mind me. I'm just going off on some tangent here. Alex said, you have definitely all helped me wake up, helped me keep going, knowing there's still people on the same page has helped me so much. Oh, definitely. Kai said, Alex, we're lucky to have you. Yes, we are. Vice versa. Kai said, good work tunes, Alex. Yeah, Alex with her music. Out to lunch said, shared via message on Xhev. Oh, God love you. Thank you. Out to lunch. Kai said, over here, a biggie is a parakeet. A budgie. Oh, okay, yep. Out to lunch said, Donna is home. Shannon said, arrive safely. Yep, Fred and Donna. Fred loves Donna and Donna loves Fred. Paul said, budgie, okay. Kai, what? What? I am Kai's laughing at Shannon. Shannon said, how am I still number 1, lol? I don't know, Shannon. Alex said, awesome, Shannon. Glad you made it safely and made it back in time. Sherry said, the rich are hoarding all the meats and raising prices so much that the poor can't afford it. I've heard their bunkers are full of meats, everything they need. We're supposed to eat the bugs. Alex said, your donation, I think, Shannon. Kai said, no, that's the spelling in the pet store. Budgie, sorry, I'm stoned as hell. Okay. Shannon said, Biden bought 5,000. Yes. Paul said, same life, my fucking ass off. Kai said, there you go, Shannon. Alex fixed it. Shannon said, Biden Timu Air Fast one. Sherry said, after the week I've had, I wish I were as stoned as hell, Kai. Yep. Kai said, Sherry, get the hook up. Shannon said, watch this. Kai said, it's good for you. So Sherry said, it's illegal here, Kai. And Kai said, partly here. Paul said, I'm heating up dim sims. Saturday mowing the lawn. Nice one. Shannon said, crown reclaimed from the usurper. Out to lunch said, World War III is 111. Kai said it was illegal here. Forever, it seems. What am I doing? I have no idea. It keeps jumping on me. Okay. Here somewhere. Okay. Sherry said, I used to live in West Virginia, Kai, in Huntington. Kai said, trashy little state. Kai said, no, I'm not particularly happy here, but Tony's family is here and I might not be much longer, so I bought a home. Oh, God love you, Kai. Out to lunch said, slow talker, you figure it was a drug that girl was on, doctor? Oh, I don't know. She freaking takes so long to say anything, it's ridiculous. Kai said, got to get TJ set up for a few years before surgery. Paul said, took, Hev. I moved as well and had to give up my chickens. So sad. Oh, really? Yeah, it's sad. How you going, Carl? You're in Melbourne. So late. Kai said, Paul, I'd be tickled to have room, but I'm in a city, old, run-down, crowded buildings, stuffed between buildings. There you go. Kai said, a home farm would be awesome, and when I drop, it would be paid off. Paul said, Kai, room for what? Alex said, oh, will they end up getting over 20 of your photos? Yeah, well, it didn't go through because you got to confirm, and it didn't go through because I couldn't even confirm. The confirm button wasn't even highlighted at all, no matter what I did. So, I don't know. Out to lunch, said we park in the middle of the road in town. Alex said that didn't stop Obama not being born there. I know. Paul said waiting. Kai said waiting, hoping to dump the wife's old house. We're overextended. Paul said, Alex, state the obvious. Only joking. Kai said, I've got a place in Tennessee, but TJ has no family there and he needs assistance. Paul said, Kai, can I move in to help? Alex said, needs must, Paul. Oh, where am I going? Okay, Kai said, got 187,000 sitting around. Out to lunch, said on X, just share what I find here and there. Kai said, that's not even half. Sal said, coffee time. Paul said, Alex, too funny enough, you crack me up. Out to lunch, said, that's it. Paul said, oh, shit, the dim sims. Yeah, don't forget about your dim sims, man. You don't want burnt dim sims. They don't taste good at all. Alex said, could you not cook it and then refreeze it again, Hev? Yeah, but it doesn't taste the same. When you cook meat, the best way to eat meat is fresh cooked. Yeah. Anyway, Alex said, should be okay if you cook it and then refreeze it as long as it's not sat at room temperature for too long. Yeah, just got to let it just till it cools and then put the lid on and put it in the freezer. Yeah, just, I don't know, it just doesn't taste the same. It's not, I don't know, the meat's not as good. If you do it to steak, it's like tougher to eat the steak. And I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to work it out somehow. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to go. I will be back tomorrow and hopefully you can join me because I'm hoping to either do a movie or have... maybe Timmy call in, Alex call in, maybe both. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Hopefully I'm feeling a bit better tomorrow so I can do that. Okay, guys, much love, and I shall see you tomorrow. Hopefully you can join me. Have a good one. Bye. Why is it making static sounds? I don't know. Maybe my earphones.